Well, my first pregnancy, I honestly went through a lot. It was a lot. And I'm not scared to talk about my situation. I'm not ashamed to talk about my situation. I never gave up. I never stopped doing what I needed to. At the time he was incarcerated, when he did find out that my son was his, my son had a really good bond. So when he did find out that my son was not his, he was very hurt.
Okay.
And I is the type of man that he want me to sit back with my legs kicked up, princess treatment, while he worked and take care of everything. Also, I'm a year of recovering from Percocet 30s.
Okay.
So, when I went through that, it was really, really, really hard. Just out there, going through what they going through. Just try your best to, branch off.
How you doing, young lady?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. It's a beautiful day outside today.
It is, absolutely.
It's a little cold a little bit.
It's a little chilly. You see, I got my long sleeves on.
Yeah.
Gotta stay covered up from head to toe.
I see you got the green on today.
That's my lucky number.
You got your belly poking out.
It is.
How far along are you?
I'm 7 months.
7 months.
Baby girl.
So you about to have this baby?
In June.
Wow. Are you ready?
Absolutely. I got a 4-year-old son, so
Okay.
I'm prepared. I'm ready.
So this is gonna be your second child?
Absolutely.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so I met you over here at this women's facility. What you got going on right now?
As of right now, I actually just left a car shop. I'm working on getting my car, so I have my car later on this evening. Just trying to put stuff into motion. I'm a young single mother. Just trying to take care of myself, work, stability, just stay focused, take care of my responsibility, my kids. I'm all about, just getting business done. That's it.
That's right. That's what's up. That's what it's all about. Making sure you checking things off the list.
Absolutely.
Day
by day, I take everything step by step, day by day. I don't like to, stress myself out too much about things. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. God made everything happen for a reason. That's the way I look at things.
Okay, that's what's up. Well, let's start from the beginning. What's your name, age, and where you from?
My name is Passion Hinton, and I am 21 years old, and I am from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay.
Double R.
That's what's up. Rough Raleigh. What side of town are you from?
I am from the South Side.
The South Side. All right. Shout out to the South Side.
Yes, absolutely. Born and raised. I grew up in Raleigh, all over Raleigh. My family is very familiar.
Okay. So if someone watching this video don't know nothing about Raleigh, how would you describe Raleigh?
Since I've grew up in Raleigh, it's a lot of, hatred, and no one really that's why I'm doing this, because I'm all about supporting and bringing up my people, uplifting everybody. Raleigh is not really that place. Everybody either hating on each other. They don't really want to see you doing good. Family, friends, whoever it is. Raleigh is rough. That's why I said rough Raleigh. It's a very rough place.
Right.
But I can say lately, over the maybe past year or so, Raleigh been rebuilding stuff, trying to come together more as a community. It's been a lot going on as far as the youth community with drugs and stuff. So just bringing a lot of people together is something that Raleigh has been trying to do as far as the youth, especially with everything that's been put out on the streets.
Okay.
But I can just say, me personally, since again I grew up in Raleigh, Raleigh is somewhere that you kind of want to branch off from.
Okay.
To go and do something better, try to move out of Raleigh, try to be somewhere bigger than Raleigh.
Wow.
It's real rough out here, it's hard out here. Everybody go through what they go through, but I just take whatever anybody going through in Raleigh as inspiration and motivation to try to, get out of this.
Okay. It's crazy that you say that, by Raleigh being the state capital.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
would think this is a good place to be.
And not to talk down on Raleigh because I love Raleigh, you feel me? Like I said, I grew up here. I'm not gonna talk down on my home city because I like to show love to all my people. But Raleigh is that type of place where, like, let's say you an upcoming artist, hairstylist, you do nails, you're a rapper, this is not somewhere where you want to look for the support out of family, friends,
Oh
the
wow.
community, because everybody kind of like doing the same thing.
Okay.
And you would think, okay, we're doing the same thing. Let's come together as females. Let's
Right.
come together as men and do this together. No,
Wow.
everybody gonna try to knock you down so they can be on top first. You know,
Okay.
that's kind of how Raleigh is. It is.
I definitely understand you. All right, well, let's get to know you a little bit, Passion.
Absolutely.
Um,
Put that down.
did you grow up in a two-parent household?
I didn't. I did not.
Okay.
Well, when I was younger, you know, my mom was very, very young when she had her first child. My mom was only 15, 16 years old when
Oh
she got
wow.
pregnant and had her first child. So I don't really remember much about being in a home with my mom and my dad
Okay.
much. So, yeah, I didn't grow up in a two-parent home.
Who did you grow up with?
Mostly my mom. My mom raised all 5 of her kids
Okay.
by herself. We all shared the same father, but she raised all of us by herself in one home.
Well, that's good. All of y'all have the same father.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all are tight. Me and my siblings, I got 3 brothers and 1 sister.
And
It's
where are
5
you
of
at
us.
in the birth order?
I'm the 3rd oldest.
Okay.
And all of our names start with P.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you name your brothers and sisters for us?
So it's Palace, Paradise, Passion, Fabian, and Pharrell.
Okay.
Yeah,
Y'all got some beautiful names.
thank you. And
Which,
my second to youngest brother, no, my first youngest brother, he passed away back
oh my
in
goodness.
2003.
I'm sorry to hear about that.
Thank you.
How did he pass away?
I wouldn't like to share that information.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm sorry to hear about that.
Thank you.
Okay. Growing up, what kind of student was Passion?
I was very playful, nice. I grew up dancing, so when I was in elementary school, I was always at recess dancing and doing cartwheels, trying to bring all my friends together as a group, stuff like that. I was very nice. I was kind. I didn't get in trouble much until I like got into high school or whatever. I didn't get into many fights or anything like that.
Okay.
But I would say I was a good student. I was good in school.
What type
I
of
didn't have
grades did
many
you make?
good grades. I made good grades. I'm pretty smart.
Okay.
I did stop going to school in 11th grade, but that's due to me having my first child at such a young age.
Okay.
And COVID was starting and we couldn't go back to school. And when we could go back to school, I had a newborn, so I did online school. But I am working on getting my GED.
Okay. And you had your first baby.
Yes,
and you were what, 17?
Yes, I had my first child when I was 17 back in 2021.
Okay. And how was that experience?
With my first pregnancy, I honestly went through a lot. It was a lot. And I'm not scared to talk about my situation. I'm not ashamed to talk about my situation because a lot of young mothers go through these situations, and I would like to open up about my story because it could be inspiration and motivation for other females around my age that may go through my situation. You know, when you're young, you're still in school, you don't have the support that you would like to have, and you may feel like you on your own, you don't got nobody, and it kind of do be like that. But I never gave up. I never stopped doing what I needed to do because I had a child.
Okay.
It motivated me to do what I needed to do. So I would just say, you know, if you young and you a young single mother, just don't ever stop doing what you're doing. Do everything you can for yourself or your child, and don't ever let nobody tell you just because you got a baby that you can't do what you need to do, because you absolutely can.
That's right. Did you ever feel like you didn't have anybody when you was pregnant?
Yeah, it was times where I went through the emotions where I just felt like it was nobody I could talk to, express myself to, a shoulder to cry on, just someone to be there for me.
Okay.
Yes, it was times I felt like that, but I can say that there was some support that came in from like my mom and my sister, you
Okay.
know, my siblings and stuff that you know, they would come into them places where I lacked, you know, certain emotions about having the support and having somebody around.
Okay.
But when you young and you don't know much about, you know, parenthood, you will have them thoughts, you will have them emotions until you are put in certain situations. You'll never know how it feels till you go through it. So
That's right.
I can speak on it because I've went through it. I've been there.
And where was your son's father?
Um, he was not in the picture at the time. He was incarcerated when he did find out that my son was his. But once he did find out, he his family are that, you know, they stepped up. They
Okay.
did. Until this day, my son loves his dad's family. They're there for me. They're there for my child, and I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world.
That's what's up.
And a lot of people don't like to talk about, you know, getting DNA tests and finding out who your baby daddy is and all that. I had to go through that, and I'm like I said, I'm not
Okay.
ashamed to talk about it because at the end of the day, you want to do it for the sake of your child, and that's who I did it for. So
Okay.
if I had not got my DNA test, then I wouldn't have had the support from my son.
Right.
So yes, I did go through that type of situation where I had to figure out who the father of my child was.
So how many different men was you thinking about? Like
Just two.
two.
Just two. There was one dude that I was with since I was of the age of 15, from the age of 17 when I had my child. It was either him or it was one other dude that I know, because I won't out here just like, you know, having unprotected sex with
Okay.
different men. I was just put in a certain situation where I didn't have the knowledge of who may have been the father. So I got a DNA test done through the dude that I may have had possibilities of him being the father, and it came back that he was.
Okay.
And luckily, the situation turned out great that he was the father, you know.
So the guy that you was with for the 2 years, he wasn't the father?
No, he was not, but he was there the first year of my son's of my son being here, and he took pretty good care of him. My son had a really good bond, so when he did find out that my son was not his, he was very hurt.
Okay.
And
So did you cheat on him or something? Like what happened?
I'm gonna be honest. We at the time when I did do what I did, we were not together. I was out with a friend having some fun. I was young. I was just having fun, and I made a mistake.
Okay.
I got pregnant, and I kind of felt like, oh, just because I'm too young and I'm in school, or I may not know who the father is, I'm not gonna kill my baby. I'm not gonna get no abortion because I don't know who's the daddy. You know, I sat down and I done this, so I'm gonna take care of my child.
Okay.
So in a situation, I didn't necessarily cheat on him. No, I didn't. But I just was not sure if it was him or the other guy.
Okay. All right. And you had your baby?
Yes, I did. In 2021, I had a son. His name is Royale.
Okay.
He's very smart. He's
and what baby. Was life like after
it was hard.
After you had your baby?
It was really, really hard. I was going through a lot of stuff emotionally, physically, you know, as far as stability, all of that. I had to figure out where I was going to be with my child, who was going to help me with my child, how I was going to get this, that, and the third. And I got up and I did all of that, you know, on my own. And, you know, once I did get the DNA test and I found out who my son family was, they stepped up like 100%, and they helped me a lot. So I can't say like without them, you know, I don't know where I would be today with my son. So,
okay. And do you still have custody of him?
Oh, yeah, I got full custody of my baby. I don't play them type of games.
So he with you?
Yeah. Okay. Every day, all day. He just ain't with me right now, okay? He with his grandma.
Okay. That's what's up. The grandmother is playing a big part in your life.
Absolutely.
And that means a lot.
It does. My
Okay,
mom, she plays a big part in her grandkids' life, and his dad's parents, they play a big part in his life also, and I'm very thankful for that.
that's right. Where are you currently staying at?
I am currently staying in Raleigh with my grandmother.
Okay, and how was that?
It's great. It's good. My grandmother actually asked me to come and stay with her so I could help look after her and take care of her because she's older.
Okay,
You know, her health is starting to kind of go downhill a little bit here and there. So she just wanted somebody that she could trust, somebody that she could know would be there to help her. And me and my grandma always been like very tight knit. So
okay,
I do stay with her and I help look after her with the fact being that I'm pregnant. You know, I don't work right now. I stay at home. I'm a homebody. I like to be home, take care of my kid, you know,
okay.
look after my family and stuff.
That's what's up. And you got pregnant again.
Yes. Absolutely.
All right. Are you still with this father, or is it the same father?
It is a different dude this time and we are in a relationship. We
Okay.
are. When I first met him, we was in a relationship from the first day I met him anyway. And
Okay.
it just turned out that I ended up getting pregnant a year of us being together. And his family they're very involved with me. You know, they text, well, his dad, his mom, you know, they text me, check up on me, ask me how the baby doing, because this is his first child, and also my other baby daddy, that was his first child too.
Okay.
But right now, at the moment, my baby father of this baby girl is, he's in the county right now.
Okay.
So you know, I called him, sent him pictures, sent him money, make sure he good. We stay in contact with each other all the time. So right now, I am going through this pregnancy by myself, but I don't let it stop me.
It's almost like the first pregnancy.
Yeah, but the situation is, as far as what I had to go through with my first pregnancy. See, with my first pregnancy, I wasn't as excited. I was
Okay.
always stressed out. I was always overwhelmed. I always had doubts and stuff. With this pregnancy, you know, I'm more in tune. I want to be more educated with what's going on. I'm just more excited about it. I got plans about it. You know, I'm prepared. I'm ready. You know, the
Okay.
first pregnancy was like trial and tribulations. Now this pregnancy is like, okay, I know what it's like. I know what I need to do. You know,
Right. Um, when is he expected to get out?
um, at least sometime next year in May.
Okay. So he what is he sitting down for about a year or something like that?
About 18 months.
18 months.
About
Okay.
at the least.
Wow. That's a pretty long time.
It is. And we only been together for a year, but he took very good care of me. That's one thing I can say about my baby father now. From the moment I met him, I never had to worry about nothing, and I still don't. With him being in jail, I still don't want for shit.
Okay.
And he took care of me and my son. You know, he was there for my son. Know who he is. Like my son knows that that's not his father, but he looks up to him, and they have a really good relationship.
That's what's up. You
And
want to
I'm
shout
not.
him out?
Oh yeah, my baby father.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name is Stain.
Okay. Shout out to Stain.
Yeah, absolutely. Zion Battle. He's from Raleigh, but everybody call him Stain. I love him, and he take good care of me and my child.
That's what's up. Shout out to Stain.
Absolutely.
Your baby mama out here eating ice. So
You
she
know I
doing
eat
what she's
ice.
supposed to do. We met her over here at the store beside the women's facility, and she was minding her own business, wasn't bothering nobody. So
Absolutely.
yeah, shout out to you, Stain, and hopefully you'll be free real soon.
I hope so. Free you, babe.
Okay. And once he get out, what is your plans?
Um, my plans is when he come home, I want him to be able to come home to stability. You know, come home to his family. He is the type of man that he want me to sit back with my legs kicked up, princess treatment, while he work and take care of everything.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be. You know, my job is to make sure that when he come home, we are put in that position to where I can sit back, be home with my kids while daddy's out working.
Right. And would anything be holding you back from being at that moment when he gets out?
Absolutely not, and I'll make
Okay.
sure of that.
That's what's up. That was a good answer. Um, okay, yeah, man, you pregnant, passion. You had a decent upbringing for what you said.
I mean, I
Uh,
went through what I went through. I struggled. Everybody ain't perfect, but just try to tell your story. Try to be out there more. Also, I'm a year of recovering from Percocet 30s.
okay,
So, when I went through that, it was really, really, really hard. With my family being known out here and me being on the streets, me having a child, I looked real bad. I was skinny.
let's talk
I
about
was
that
just.
briefly.
Mhm.
What was your experience like on fentanyl?
It was not good at all. See, when I first started taking them, I did not know that, you know, it was fentanyl. And I did have the opportunity to stop, before things got worse and deeper, but I was also going through some stuff and I kind of used it as a way to cope. But I now look back on it like it's all a my thing, so I don't like to use it as an excuse because you can do it.
That's right.
You can always anything you can always stop if you really want it for yourself.
Right.
And I got to the point where I was like, okay, I want this for myself, for my child. I really gotta get away from this. And it was all around me. Like to this day in this community now, a lot of people around my age group is doing fentanyl. So anybody that's out there, going through what they going through, just try your best to branch off from
And
that.
what was some things you did to get away from that?
I honestly moved out of the city. I moved out of Raleigh. I moved out of Raleigh with my boo that I met. He found out that I was on it, and he didn't judge me. He didn't bring me down. He didn't beat me up about it. He helped me get through it. Cold turkey, sweats, the body aching, the throwing up, the passing out, the diarrhea. He helped me go through all of that.
Wow.
And really, like I said, it's all a mind thing, but it's also an environmental thing. You just want to try to get away from it, get out of that environment.
That's right.
Just clear your mind, be around other positive stuff.
So, how long have you been clean?
For a year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Passion, passion, passion. Look at you. Looking all clean and stuff.
Thank you.
Okay. That's what's up. So, in closing, if any girls was going through a situation like you just explained, what motivation can you give them? What routes can you tell them to take that you took?
Honestly, all I can really try to say is try to be more open about your situation. A lot of people do judge and bring you down, but just find somebody or a community or a support that you can confide into, and just try your best to try to just motivate yourself to want better. Don't want it for everybody else, want it for yourself. Once you want anything for yourself, it's meant to happen, it's meant to be.
That's right.
So just take that route. Whatever it takes you to do to get there, do it. If you gotta cut family off, if you gotta cut friends off, if you gotta move hours away, 30 minutes away, whatever you gotta do to get back to yourself, do it.
I agree. If anybody wanted to contact you, do you have any social media sites? If anybody wanted to donate to you, do you have a cash out?
I don't have a social media, or I don't own a cash app, but I use my mother's cash app because I'm around her all the time. But I'm not really into social media like that no more, so I'm more into like real life. Like it's a lot going on around me, so I don't really be scrolling on social media too much. So I don't have social media that I own myself.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can stay in contact from here.
Absolutely.
And
I have a number though, but
yes,
it's not for everybody.
That's right. I'm gonna give you the card. Stay in contact with me, cause we want to see what passion look like when that belly go down.
Absolutely.
We want to see what passion doing when she had that baby.
Y'all will.
Okay, that's what's up. Thank you for doing the interview. God bless you.